Good morning, UP scientists. Today we're going to be continuing our ecosystem restoration unit, and today we're going to be investigating how animals grow. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So today we're going to be talking about how to make a good scientific argument. So you probably have arguments all the time with your friends, maybe with your family, but today we're going to be talking about how scientists argue about ideas in a way that's constructive and helps us get to which idea is the best. So remember, we are working with the Natural Resources Rescue, and we're working on this project where we're restoring the project area, which is a section of the Costa Rican rainforest ecosystem, and we're trying to improve its health. So we have two tasks. Our first task is to investigate why the animals aren't growing and thriving in the project area. And our second task is going to be to make a plan to improve the health of the animals in the ecosystem. So soon we're going to write a report for the Natural Resources Rescue to explain what you've figured out about why the animals in the project area are not growing and thriving as we think they should be. So Natural Resources Rescue is going to make decisions about what to do based on what you find. So you need to base your reports on evidence, not just your opinions. So you also need to make a scientific argument. And in science, an argument is the use of evidence to say why one scientific idea is best. So scientists make arguments, but they're not the type of argument people have when you just yell at each other. So in science, an argument is just using evidence to say why one scientific idea is better than others. So let's use a quick example to help us understand what an argument is and how we can use evidence to support our scientific ideas. So in our example, we're going to answer the question, what do alligators eat? So before we start arguing, scientists are going to make claims. So a claim is a proposed answer to a question. It might not be the right answer, but it's an answer we came up with, and we're going to see how good it is. So here are a few different claims we could make to answer this question. So the first claim is alligators eat other animals. Second claim is alligators eat plants. Third claim is alligators eat rocks. So first, let's just think about our initial ideas, and then we'll show you some evidence to try and back these up. So before we look at any of that evidence, which claim do we think is correct and why? Okay, so we have a bit of evidence here. So we have a picture, we have this text here that says many different animals live in a swamp environment. Some of the animals that live in a swamp environment are alligators, turtles, birds, insects, and fish. We have this table here that says the number of fish in the swamp before alligators were observed there is 100, and the number of fish in the swamp after alligators were observed there is 90. So evidence to support a claim can come from books, investigations, observations, a bunch of different sources. In this case, the evidence is our observations of the photograph and the information in the table about fish in the swamp. So based on this evidence, what do alligators eat, and how do you know that? All right, so hopefully you put that alligators eat animals, and you know it from the picture, you know it from the table where after alligators showed up, the number of fish went down, so maybe alligators were eating the fish. So we're going to take a look at an example argument here about what alligators eat. We're going to pay close attention to the claim, the evidence that supports it, and the conclusion. So they're each going to be highlighted in different colors. So here's our example argument. So it says, what do alligators eat? Alligators eat other animals. The evidence shows that alligators eat birds. This matters because birds are animals. This means that alligators eat other animals. The evidence also shows that there were fewer fish in the swamp after the alligators were observed there. This matters because fish are animals. This also means that alligators eat other animals. So notice that the argument doesn't just make a claim. So we have our claim here, but it doesn't just do that, right? So, as with all scientific arguments, the claim is supported by evidence. So this whole section, most of this argument is evidence. And the evidence here comes from the observations of the photograph of the alligator eating a bird, from the information about animals living in swamp environments, and the table about the number of fish in the swamp. So you'll also notice that the argument ends with a concluding sentence to just bring everybody back to what it was that you were trying to figure out here. So what were you arguing about? You were arguing that alligators eat other animals, and you're just wrapping it up by saying, hey, all this stuff that I pointed out right here means that alligators are eating other animals. Okay, so now we've got a definition. So this is an argument in the sense of a scientific argument. So an argument in science is the use of evidence to say why one idea is best. And for each of these vocabulary words, I'd like you to copy down exactly what it shows you in the video right now in the box over here, and also in your paper notes that you're keeping, so that you have all your vocabulary words in one place in front of you when you're working on these lessons. So if you don't copy this down exactly as it is here, you will not receive credit for this answer. So as part of our argument, we introduced the claim. So a claim is just a proposed answer to a question. Please copy that down over here right now. And then most of our argument was evidence that supported that claim. So if a claim is a possible answer to a question, then evidence is the information that supports the answer to the question. And when scientists make arguments, they make a claim and they support it with evidence. So let's go ahead and write down the definition for evidence right now. Now what we're going to do next is gather evidence to support a claim about how animals grow. So remember, we're trying to answer this investigation question: how do animals grow? And in our last lesson, we gathered evidence to help answer this question from the book Matter Makes It All Up. Today, we will keep working to answer this question. We'll now gather more evidence about how animals grow in general to help us figure out what is happening with the specific animals in the project area. So we know that animals are made of matter, and matter is made of molecules. Next, we need to figure out where the animals get the molecules they need to grow. To help us think more about this, we'll watch a video of some animals just out in their environment. And when we say environment, what we mean is all the living and non-living things in an area. So living things include things like plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, anything that moves and grows and makes more copies of itself. But the environment also includes the non-living things like the water, the soil, the air, rocks. So let's go ahead and write this definition down. And what we're going to do now is observe otters in their environment. As we watch, you want to pay close attention to what the animals are doing. Think about where the animals might be getting the molecules they need to grow. As soon as the video is over, you'll have to answer your questions about this. So what are the animals doing, and how are they getting the molecules they need to grow? And just remember, even though that otters don't live in the Costa Rican rainforest, we can still apply what we learn by observing them to animals in our project area in Costa Rica. So I'll go ahead and start the video now. All right, so in that video, what were the otters doing? And then, based on what we saw, do you have any new ideas about how otters grow their bodies? So now we're going to work together to develop a claim about how animals grow, and we can use what we read and observed as evidence in our claim, for our claim. So remember, we gathered information on how animals grow and we read Matter Makes It All Up. And we also discussed this idea as we watched the otter video. So we're going to go back to Matter Makes It All Up to look for more evidence. So in order to get back to that book, use your fifth grade science bookmark to get to the elementary school learning apps. Make sure you click the login with Amplify button. Use our remote learning username and password that are on the screen. Scroll all the way down to the ecosystem restoration unit, and then click on the purple number 2 to get to the book. So take a quick look at pages 7, 10, and 11 in the book. And based on those pages, what claim can we make about how animals grow based on evidence? Right, so in order to figure that out, so what evidence did you find as you read the book? Should have found several pieces of evidence in there, so write as many as you can in the box up to the right. And then based on that evidence, what claims can you make about how those animals grow? Yep, so we're gonna end up using a claim that we can be pretty sure of, right? So we've seen a bunch of different pieces of evidence for this, and let's make our claim the animals grow by eating to add molecules to their body. So write this claim down over here. And this is the claim we're going to be working to support in our final question today, where we're going to just write down the evidence that we found to support that claim. So once you're done with that, you are set for the day, and I'll see everybody tomorrow, where we will continue investigating how animals grow and where they get those molecules they need. Bye.